But now I want to turn to Mark Poggendorf and have him discuss manufacturers and local hobby shops for us. Mark, welcome.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You?
Good. I'm doing good. Just got back. Well, I've been on the road pretty much since January doing train shows, so I'm a little saddle sore from that. We finished up with one of the biggest shows in Denver, Colorado, the Rocky Mountain Toy Train Show, and fortunately there was a lot of manufacturers there. So I got to talking to them, and a lot of the state of economy's definitely got some questions going on with it, and a lot of shops are suffering a little more than others, and we're seeing some downturn in revenue. So what I did was I took this opportunity to talk to a lot of manufacturers, and most all of them were really responsive. And first thing I did was ask them, what can they do for us as a hobby shop to help promote their products within our stores? And a lot of people may not know, there's a lot of resources available for point of sale stuff. One that Soundtracks is a great company. They just hired a new marketing gal, and her name already escapes me. She's a real sweetheart, and she is just going to concentrate on handling brick and mortar stores and giving us point of sale items, everything from decals to banners to information stuff that we can help our customer make a educated decision when they come in our store. So this is a great resource. So they're going to be working on a whole bunch of new items. So I'm reaching out to all you guys that own or know somebody that has a retail store. Go talk to them, let them know, because in talking to some of the stores that I've just made a few phone calls, they had no idea this stuff existed. You walk into a grocery store and you see a banner for a particular type of soda, like Coca-Cola or something like that. All of that stuff around the store, or a particular food or what have you, those are point of sale and point of purchase accessories that you can get. And a lot of these companies give those to you for free. So those things help us. I've got some awesome decals to put on the front door of my store that say authorized retailer for Soundtracks and a few other companies. So Soundtracks was one of the companies I talked to that is really getting on the bandwagon with point of sale stuff. And again, this is just for brick and mortar stores, which is what we're talking about. Rapido was another company that was there in force. They had the whole team there at the show, and those guys are something else. They're fun to hang around with, nice to talk to. They have banners, they have point of sale stuff. I even joked about getting some free samples and stuff like that, and who knows what will happen there. But that's another manufacturer that was there with this. KD Quality Products, Alan. I got a real good relationship with Alan. I've been a dealer for him for years, and they have really great banners. They have flyers. That's another thing. A lot of these companies like Soundtracks, KD, Bachman, I talked with Intermountain, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. A lot of these people have handouts that they can give to the brick and mortar dealers so that we can hand them out to our customers. Lionel has catalogs that they can send me a case of them, and I can pass them out to my customers, especially towards the holiday season. And this is just one way that we can try to capture some of these customers coming in the door. Because in talking with a few stores, including Steve, who's the president of the NERSA, everybody right now is down. Our numbers are lower than they should be, but the economy is hitting a lot of people hard, and we deal in the expendable income business. So if they don't have money for their staples, they're not going to spend a lot of money with us. So unfortunately, we've got to work a little bit extra hard to get them in the store for one, and then when they come in, how can we wow them to keep them in our store and get us to spend money? Bachman was another good company. He says, how many catalogs do you want? He will literally send me a pallet of catalogs if I want them, so I can have them in the store. Intermountain, another company that they're getting back. Intermountain was really hit hard. I don't know if many of you know, a few years ago when the Chinese factory debacle happened, they lost a lot of their tooling in that, and they've had to recover, which they're making excellent strides in that recovery. So that's allowing them to start producing new product and getting them out to customers. And also alongside of that, they want to do some point of sale stuff too. So they've got a lot of things to help us out as retailers. And I encourage every single person, like I said, as a retailer, or if you know somebody that has a store, mention this to them, because it is not available to the online retail community, only brick and mortar stores, so people can come in. Another person I talked to who has a completely different attitude of this is Scale Trains. Shane, he's going the other way. He wants to be the retailer. He does not want to add additional retail outlets to his business, which I tried convincing him of that. It wasn't the best thing because we have a lot of customers that come in our store in our area that don't even have a computer. So they want to come in and do the touchy-feely thing. So that's kind of an interesting take on the business there. So I don't know where he's going. They're reviewing it. They're going to look at it more, but that was pretty much the only manufacturer that didn't want to support the retail hobby stores. Again, another company that's just starting out is Class 1 Model Works. Those guys are really sharp. They want to have nice things we're going to become a dealer of their products, and they want to have point of sale stuff in their store. So that's kind of my main focus with this stuff, is to get these resources that are available. Another thing, if you contact your credit card companies, a lot of stores don't have signs. Hey, do you take credit cards? We hear that a lot when we go into stores. Visa, MasterCard, all these people give you free point of sale signs to put through your stores, on your doors, to say, hey, we take credit card. This card's welcome here, be it American Express, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa. All these things help make people more comfortable in shopping. And when the economy is down, people do tend to use their credit cards more. We notice less cash in the store, and we notice more credit cards when they do make a purchase. So any questions so far?
You know, one of the things, I'm glad to hear that the manufacturers want to support the hobby shops that way. But, you know, most modelers don't know that that stuff is even available at a hobby shop anymore. Either they haven't been to a hobby shop in a while, or they haven't, if they have, they never thought about, can I get a free catalog from Lionel? Can I get a free Bachman? That's just something that I don't think the average modeler even thinks about.
No, they don't. And, you know, another thing is touching the fact that a lot of people don't know that when you, one of the cardinal rules, when the economy goes down, the one thing you should always do is increase your advertising. And most business owners look at their budget and go, okay, where can I cut corners? I'm not making as much revenue every month. How do I cut corners? Well, the first thing they cut, which breaks the cardinal rule of business, is they cut the advertising budget. Well, now there's less people looking for you anyway, because people have tightened their purse strings in their wallets. So now you just cut off the communication that you had with those customers. So by going out and actually getting more aggressive with your advertising, which we're starting to do, and get more advertising out there, spend the money on it, cut the money somewhere else, turn the heater off if you have to, a few more hours a day, but let people know you're there, because that also promotes stability through tough times, so that when we get done with those tough times, hey, that guy's still there, and they know it.
One of the things, Mark, I've heard from other people, and I don't know, I'll mention it to you and see if you agree or not. I've heard that when the bank in California failed, and all the discussion about the banks may be in trouble here or there, or the smaller banks or whatever, I've heard that that's had an impact.
It has had a massive impact, and I'll give you guys a staggering fact. I have one of my good friends who is another vendor, and we travel to shows. He's done very well for himself over the years. When Chase Bank took over Merrill Lynch, he lost $300,000 in investments that wasn't guaranteed, and literally overnight. And he said, normally I check my investments every Wednesday morning when I get up with my coffee. And he said he had 300,000 and change in this investment. He woke up Thursday morning and something just told a little birdie, said, check your investments. He had $8.42 in his investment account. So he immediately called the company, found out that, oh, sorry, we're closed. Well, then the following day he was able to reach somebody, and, oh yeah, Chase Bank has taken over Merrill Lynch. So none of those investments were honored. So he immediately called his attorney, and his attorney says, well, it'll cost us about $100,000 to sue them, and we may or may not win. So luckily this individual was solvent enough to where he was just mad and he could take the hit. But that to the average person would be devastating and life-changing. And we did meet, especially as soon as the banks, our revenue at train shows dropped 30%, because we did a train show 4 days after that news hit the media or the wire. We were down 32% at that show. And then the next 3 shows we did, we were down at least 40. In Denver, which was our biggest disappointment, we were down 52% in revenue. And that's a huge hit for us. When we go to these shows, we travel halfway across the United States. You think you're going to at least make a bare minimum, and it just tanks. And I had a lot of people complaining their 401ks were hurting, their investments were hurting, and they're looking at the $100 to $300 locomotive and saying, yeah, I wish I could buy it, but I can't. And they might buy a $5 or $10 item. So unfortunately, it's hitting everybody. And the funny thing was, I just talked to the show promoter. The attendance was actually up, but it wasn't the modeling crowd. It was a different crowd. And unfortunately, that's not the crowd that does us any good as model train vendors.
Yeah.
So one good thing we're doing is our web store launches May 15th. So that'll hopefully offset some of the stuff that we've been losing.
Well, I sure hope so, because it doesn't sound like it's a fun and games situation right now for any of the hobby shop owners.
It's not. And some of you know that I'm in the classic car industry also, restoring classic and antique automobiles and hot rods, and talking to some of those other guys. Guys are hurting. They've had several high-end customers that an average hot rod build could be $100,000 to $200,000. And one of my good buddies, he's had 4 people in the last 30 days back out of high-end builds. So he's lost about $500,000 in builds in 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's not just the car industry the train industry that's suffering. So, we just got to hopefully tighten our belts and try to get through this together as a group and keep the hobby alive.
Absolutely. And what you're doing, I think, is helping a tremendous amount. I can't thank you enough for carrying our banner with you and showing our scholarship at all of the train shows you're going to. I really do appreciate that so much.
No problem. And I'm out of flyers. And also, I did mention to a couple people that we're now a 501c3. So if the new flyers could actually have that information on them, because that tends to make people donate when they see that information right there on the flyer. So if we could get some more flyers, and we've got July, excuse me, we have the Bay Area Garden Convention, which is at Santa Clara, and we will have the banner at that one also.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate it.
And, anything that we can do to help you, just let me know.
Yeah, no problem. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Okay, take care.